Thousands of college students that attend private universities in Colorado may lose financial aid. I'll have the details in just a couple of minutes.
And the man charged with starting that big apartment complex fire on Leetsdale has been deemed incompetent. What happens now that he can't stand trial?
Also this hour, a change here in Denver that could improve transparency in local government. We'll explain coming up.
We're going to get to those stories in just a minute, but first let's take a live look outside from our Horsetooth Reservoir camera on your Friday morning. Absolutely gorgeous start to the morning. That's a Broncos sunrise if I've ever seen one. We're getting you ready for your weekend ahead as we expect another nice day today before some changes roll in for your weekend. Thanks for joining us. Happy Friday. I'm Corey Rose.
And I'm Drew Carney. We're going to check in with Katie here right away. So let's talk about those changes that are coming up over the next few days.
Good morning, you guys. Yeah, it's a stretch of 80s that we've seen this week. Yesterday we hit 85. Today we're right back to unseasonably warm weather. It is mild, dry, and calm this morning. Mostly clear skies, and temperatures later on expected to hit again the low to mid 80s. A bit breezy, but this weekend we are tracking storm chances. They'll be isolated on Saturday, a bit more widespread Sunday. Could even see a severe weather risk before much cooler air and more widespread wet weather rolls into next week, where highs will only be in the 50s. We're sitting in the 50s right now, stepping out the door on this Friday morning. Dry conditions from Fort Collins out across the plains and in the mountains. For today, a lot of sunshine, temperatures on the rise quickly. 10 o'clock this morning will be at 73 degrees, 84 the expected high, staying dry. Statewide 80s across the plains and low 90s down over the southeastern corner of Colorado. Fire danger elevated at times as we get into this afternoon, and we'll break down the future cast hour by hour when you can expect to see those storms pop up over the weekend. Brianna?
Katie, thank you so much. Happy Friday, everyone. 5:02 is your time, and we are taking a live look right now of I-25 at Bellevue Avenue. So no issues to report there for your morning drive. We're not seeing any crashes or overnight construction, and traffic right now is so light for anyone heading maybe down south to Castle Rock or heading up north here to the Denver metro area or all the way up to Fort Collins. Let's switch things over to our main maps. You can see no issues to report across the metro. Again, no crashes. Once we have a little bit more information of just like these drive times, because it looks like my maps are not working right now, I will get that to you here in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Brandon, we'll check back in with you then. Meanwhile, our headlines here at 5 o'clock starts with this. A judge ruled yesterday that the man charged with starting a fire at a Denver apartment complex is not competent to stand trial. Police arrested 38-year-old Tony Becerra, you see him right there on your screen, in connection with the fire on Leetsdale back on January 2nd. Police say they tracked him down using surveillance video. He's charged with burglary and arson for that massive fire at the complex, which was still under construction at the time. It took days to get the fire under control. Becerra's next court hearing is scheduled for mid-July.
Boulder County deputies are investigating the death of a man found yesterday in Chautauqua Park. The sheriff's office says they received a crash detection alert from the park from an Apple device. First responders went there, didn't find anything, but not long after, an off-duty member of the Rocky Mountain Rescue Group found a man dead in a gully about halfway up the second Flatiron. Investigators believe he may have been solo scrambling, which means navigating steep rocky terrain alone without a rope or safety equipment. His name has not yet been released.
The Denver Police Department gathered yesterday for their annual ceremony to honor officers who have died in the line of duty. Here's a look at part of that ceremony.
We see you, we honor the sacrifice and the nobility of what you and your families have endured. And please remember, you will not be forgotten and you are not alone.
The event is held every year for the department, its fallen officers, and their family members.
It's one of the most important duties that I have to make sure that this ceremony continues. It's something that's deeply important to not just me, but our entire department. Obviously, the families of our fallen officers to remember and recognize their sacrifice and their service. We always say that no one will ever be forgotten, and I think ceremonies like this, I think, demonstrate that we will never forget those that have come before us.
During the ceremony, they read off the 78 names of the fallen officers. There was also a dove release and a 21-gun salute.
The Trevor Project has new data showing the ripple effect of anti-LGBTQ laws and policies. The Trevor Project found that 40% of transgender and non-binary youth seriously considered suicide in the last year. That's out of more than 16,000 people surveyed. 90% said anti-LGBTQ laws cause them stress or anxiety. Here in Colorado, hundreds of transgender youth lost access to gender-affirming care after Children's Hospital Colorado stopped providing those services to minors. One 15 16-year-old who wishes to remain anonymous says she was hospitalized as a result.
I had to go inpatient because things got really hard and I started to struggle with my mental health. I just wish the government would realize that we're people just like you and we're not doing anything wrong by being who we truly are.
Danielle is part of a lawsuit attempting to reverse Children's Hospital Colorado's abrupt decision to stop providing gender-affirming care for minors. They're now waiting on a decision from the Colorado Supreme Court.
For some Colorado students, the future of their college education is suddenly uncertain. That's because of a new bill passed at the state capitol, which would cut off state financial aid for students attending private colleges and universities.
9 News reporter Courtney Yoon is live in Denver right now. Courtney, some students say losing that support could put their degrees out of reach.
Yes, that's right, Corey and Drew. Under this new proposal, thousands of students could lose access to state grants and work-study funding before the upcoming school year. So lawmakers say that this move came during difficult budget negotiations. So supporters of this bill say lawmakers had to prioritize public institutions during a tight budget year. Critics say the cuts target one group of students instead of spreading reductions across all colleges. At Regis University, 587 students could be impacted, along with thousands more at 8 other private universities in Colorado. Zoe Joseph-Fick is a rising senior at Regis who works the front desk at the financial aid office. She's now worried she won't have financial aid or a job next year while she's trying to finish her degree.
Got the opportunity to work here as a Colorado Work-Study student in the financial aid office. I honestly don't know where I would have ended up if I didn't come here. It's gonna have such a big disproportionate effect on specifically lower and middle income students because they're the ones that rely on the work study.
This bill is now headed to the governor's desk for approval. If it's signed by the June 12th deadline, it'll take effect in August. Live in Denver, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
All right, thank you, Courtney. In other news, Denver City Council is considering a major lobbying overhaul because of high-profile influence cases that are largely going unreported. When the flavored tobacco ban came before City Council twice, City Council member Jamie Torres said lobbyists from both sides were active at City Hall, but none of that was reported. She says there was a similar transparency gap with Flock Safety. That's the license plate reader company. So Torres is now working with the city clerk's office on legislation that would require lobbyists to disclose information, including who they meet with, which clients they represent, and how much they're paid to do so. The current law does not require any of that.
We just need to know about it when it happens. I think that's the biggest underlying factor here. It's not that it's happening, but that we want to be really transparent about it when it does.
This proposal still requires a full city council vote. If it does pass, it would take effect at the start of next year.
Jefferson County deputies are asking for tips and providing clarification over increased e-bike concerns. The sheriff's office launched a way to anonymously report unsafe e-bike, electric motorcycle, or dirt bike activity on its website. I see this everywhere. This is what the webpage looks like. The sheriff's office also said there's been a sharp increase in young riders using e-motos that are far more powerful than e-bikes, but are being marked as such. Colorado state law says e-bikes must remain within these classes. Class 1 and 2 e-bikes can be used by all ages, but Class 1 has a motor assist when pedaling, while Class 2 has a motor assist even when you're not pedaling. Class 3 can be operated by anyone 16 or older and can top out at 28 miles per hour, and they're not allowed on trails or in parks.